go up for a long time. And that's talking about this continent we know as America being totally destroyed, thermonuclear destruction. That's why the U.S. keeps probing all these other nations about their nuclear program. Let them go through. That's why they want to go into this other country and they want to look and see if they got nuclear capability. That's why all of these countries in the Middle East got what? Nuclear bombs. The U.S. wants to go and inspect their bombs. Korea, they got their own nuclear program, but the U.S. wants to go over there and regulate it. But wait a minute, who the fuck is coming checking your shit out? You want to go and look at everybody else's shit. You know? Oh no, we got to make sure you guys don't have a nuclear bomb. If there's one thing that this devil respects, they respect that goddamn nuclear bomb. And they don't want nobody else to have it. But the other nations, these countries that were known as third world countries, now they got the bomb too. And they're gonna take it and they're gonna blow this damn place America sky high with it. Iran, which America's pushing to go into Iran because they want to take control of the oil that's in Iran. That's why they want to go into Iran. That's why they keep giving Iran problems. They've been trying to go in Iran for a long time. But they're trying to figure out an angle to get into Iran because the Russians got business ventures with the Iranians, and so do the Chinese. In other words, they paid for a lot of that oil already by giving them their technology. The Russians gave the Iranians the AK-47, which that's a Russian automatic machine gun. Tanks, jet fighters. They gave them their technology as payment for them to ship oil over to Russia. The Chinese gave them their technology and different things so they could get shipments of oil going into China. But the U.S. wants to take control of that oil, just like they took control of the oil in Iraq. And Russia and China is not going to let it happen. So once they go into Iran, World War III is going to be on. It's going to be on and popping. And that's going to be the war that ends all wars, because that's going to be a nuclear war. That's the time that we're in right now. That's the prophecy that's prevalent right now, World War III. And that's mentioned in the Bible too. Did you get that for me?
This is Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near.
Right, that's what's going on now. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the mighty men of war draw near. That's why the vibe that's on the planet right now is war. There ain't going to be no peace on this planet, not until this man is laid down. And they're always constantly waging war on somebody. And the reason why they do it is because they want to take that other nation's natural resource. Whatever resource that other nation has, they want it. That's why they're angling to get into Iran, because they want control of that oil. Go ahead.
Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears.
In other words, instead of those nations taking their money and putting it into agriculture, which that's what a plow is used for. That's what a pruning hook is used for. That's for agricultural use. In other words, growing food. They're taking that money and instead of putting it into feeding themselves, they're putting it into strengthening their military. They're taking their money and they're strengthening their military. Go ahead.
Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about.
Right, it said, let the weak say, I am strong. So these nations that were once weak, that used to get kicked around by the U.S., now these nations are strong now. Now they got the bomb too. Hey, the Japanese still haven't forgot about Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Atomic warfare, when the U.S. used atomic warfare on them. The Japanese, they haven't forgot about being rounded up and putting them goddamn them concentration camps for about a year and a half. There was a time when they after Pearl Harbor was bombed, when they rounded up every Japanese family in the U.S. and they basically put them in concentration camps for about a year and a half. Then in the 80s, under Reagan, they gave them Japanese families about $20,000 a family reparation. But then they tell me or you that for 400 years of slavery, we don't deserve no reparations. They had them motherfuckers in prison for like 18 months and gave them 20 G's a family in the 80s. But then they tell the Negro, nah, you don't need reparations for slavery. And when the reparations came up, going back to the case Dred Scott, when Dred Scott sued his slave master, he was supposed to get 40 acres and 2 mules, and then they said a slave cannot sue his master because a slave is 3/5 of a man. So that was a substance that was overturned right there. But they'll give them, the Japanese, $20,000 a family for 16 months, 18 months of captivity. But they'll tell you, nah, forget about that, forgive and forget. That's why we gonna fuck this goddamn white man up. We gonna fuck them up, man. Go ahead.
Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause the mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be awakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe.
Put ye in the sickle. The sickle is used to cut the crops. You come with the sickle and you reap the crops. Go ahead.
Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come you down, get you down, for the press is full, the vats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Lord will be the hope. But the Lord will be the hope of his people, and the strength of the children of Israel.
Right. The Lord is going to be the hope, and he's going to be the strength of his people, because we're going to be delivered. While those bombs are going off, we're going to be delivered. And it's going to be a strange delivery too, because nothing like this ever happened before on the planet Earth. We're going to be delivered in them chariots. There was a reason why during slavery, black folk used to sing, "Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home." As I look over the River Jordan, which is where in Jerusalem, I see a band of angels coming forth to carry me home. That's how the angels are coming. That's why Hollywood makes movies about it. A War of the Worlds, Independence Day. That's how the angels are coming. That's how the angels are coming. We're gonna be delivered in them chariots. Because once a nuclear missile is shot off here on the U.S., you got about maybe 30 minutes before it hits ground zero. 30 minutes before it hits the target. So where you gonna go in 30 minutes? Where you gonna go in 30 minutes? You can't make it out of Manhattan in 30 minutes. You can't get to the airport and get on a plane and get airborne in 30 minutes. And if you do, you're a dead motherfucker, because once the nuclear bomb detonates, it unleashes something called the EMP, electromagnetic pulse, that shuts down any electronic equipment in the blast radius. They showed you that in the Matrix. They had that EMP they would press against the Sentinels, and the Sentinels, but their ship was shut down, but the Sentinels would be shut down, right? Well, when a nuclear bomb goes off, it releases what's called the EMP. That shuts down any electrical equipment in the blast radius. So if you're in a plane and that thing goes off, the plane is gonna drop right out the sky. The plane gonna go from flying like this, and it's gonna drop straight down. Where you going?
Nowhere fast.
You're not going nowhere fast. There's nowhere for you to go. We don't have a donation bucket here.
I'm sorry. Well, thank you so much for your work. I'm part of the International Peace Council. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, so. Oh, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Come on.
Yeah, because the elder was talking about the slave songs, right? And you had the slave song should be coming around the mountain. Well, these are the lyrics, the original lyrics. It says, "Oh, she will drive the chariots when she come. Oh, she will drive the chariot when she come."
Oh, hold the chariot song.
Right?
Get the chariot song.
It says, "King Jesus, he'll be the driver when she comes."
Wait a minute. It's talking about the chariots. Now, he's reading the original lyrics to "She'll be coming around the mountain when she come." It's talking, the she is basically talking about the mothership. That's what it's talking about. Go ahead, read it, brother.
Yeah,
read
it
it
says,
again.
"Oh, who will drive the chariot when she comes?" Then it says, "King Jesus, he'll be the driver when she comes."
That's pursuant to the Apocrypha, where it tells you the young man that he was taller than anyone round about. He stood on a mountain. It said it was a ship that was the size of a mountain, and it was a young man who stood on top of that. And then Ezra looked to see where the mountain was carved out of in the earth, but he couldn't see. So he was talking about a ship. Well, why do you think in the movie Independence Day, when the chariot or the UFO came over the city, it blocked out the sun? It was so big, it blocked out the sun everywhere in the city. Now he's reading the original lyrics to that song, "She'll be coming around the mountain." Go ahead, read it.
And it says, "She'll be loaded."
Yeah, he's right there.
"She'll be loaded with bright angel when she comes."
She'll be loaded with right angels when she comes. Go ahead.
It says, "She will neither rock nor totter when she comes. She will run so level and steady when she comes. She will take us to the portals when she comes."
She will take us to the portals when they come. Those are the original lyrics to "She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes."
That's on Wikipedia.
It's talking about the chariots. So the slaves back, now think about it, back in the 16, 17, 1800s, the only things that were flying were birds. So what was the slaves, what was our ancestors talking about? "Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home." As I look over the River Jordan, what do I see? A band of angels coming forth to carry me home. Now we was reading, "She'll be coming around the mountain," and it spoke about angels. It said King Jesus driving the ship. That's what it's talking about. So we're not crazy when we're talking about the chariots, about the UFOs, and you got people that get abducted. Most of the time, 99% of the time, is white people that get abducted. Get the shit beat out of them, and their brains are scrambled and they're tossed on the side of the road somewhere. There's a reason for it. What you got, brother?
This is Second Ezra, the 13th chapter. And it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that
It's I behold, and there was a wind from the sea, and it moved all the waves thereof. Now, in the movie, what you call it, War of the Worlds, they showed you chariots that were in the water, causing a whirlpool inside of the water when they got on the ship to try to get away. If you've seen the remake of it, because the original movie was from 1950 or 1951, Orson Welles, it was redone by, what the fuck is this guy's name? Steven Spielberg, starring Tom Cruise, back in, 99, 2000, something like that. And they showed you the chariot underwater, causing a whirlpool under the water while they were in the ship trying to get away. Read that again, brother. This brother, you read that again.
Second Ezra 13:1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea.
A wind from the sea. Go ahead.
That it moved all the waves thereof.
It moved all the waves thereof. That's why I'm using the movie to paint a vivid picture in your mind of what this is talking about. They said it moved the waves thereof. Just like in that movie, it showed the chariot under there, and the waves were rocking and rolling, and then the chariot flipped the goddamn boat over. Go ahead. That's crazy.
And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven.
Wait a minute, it said that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Now, read that again. Read the lyrics. Says she'll be coming around the mountain.
Right, it says, it repeats, "Oh, who will drive the chariot when she comes?"
Right.
And it says, "King Jesus, he'll be the driver when she comes."
Wait a minute. Now read that again in Ezra's. Read.
And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned,
that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Go ahead.
And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that was seen under him.
Right. Everything that was under him trembled. Now, I got to go back to that movie again, War of the Worlds. When the chariots came up out the ground,